I had always trusted her, maybe more than I should have. For 5 years, I believed in her words, in her smiles, in the way she would look at me and make me feel like I was the only person in the world who mattered. That morning, like any other, she told me she was going to her mother's house to help with some errands. Her tone was casual, her smile light, but something in the way she avoided my eyes gnawed at the back of my mind. I didn't think much of it at first. Maybe it was just one of those days when people act a little off, when life pulls them in 100 different directions at once. But the doubt, quiet and persistent, kept tugging at me like a whisper I couldn't ignore. I spent the morning waiting, glancing at my phone, half expecting her to send a text, half hoping she would. Hours passed, the sunlight shifting across the walls of my living room, and still, nothing. By mid-afternoon, the unease had turned into something heavier, something I couldn't brush off as mere worry. I needed to know, needed to see, to confront the truth before it slipped further out of reach. So, I drove to her mother's house, my heart pounding with a mixture of anticipation and fear, and knocked at the door. Her mother answered, her face calm, almost too calm, and a flicker of surprise passed across her eyes when she saw me. I asked about her, casually at first, masking the urgency in my voice, but the answer hit me like a punch I didn't see coming: "She's not here." The words echoed in my mind, each one heavier than the last, twisting the calm morning into a storm I wasn't prepared to face. I pressed further, my voice tight, my hands clenched at my sides, and that's when the cracks began to show. Her mother's hesitation, the way she looked away, the tiny shake in her hand, it was all there, a language of truth that could not be hidden. I felt a cold weight settle in my chest as realization dawned, a mixture of betrayal, confusion, and heartbreak that made it hard to even breathe. How long had she been lying? Was it hours, days, weeks? Every excuse I had accepted, every lie I had overlooked in the past, suddenly came rushing back in sharp, unforgiving clarity. I didn't just feel deceived, I felt like the entire foundation of my life had been quietly dismantled while I slept, piece by piece, under the guise of normalcy. I left her mother's house in a daze, the streets around me blurred by the storm in my mind. Anger and sorrow collided, a cacophony of emotions I couldn't sort through fast enough. I remembered the laughter, the small gestures, the promises made late at night when the world outside was silent. All of it now felt like a carefully woven act, a script I hadn't been cast in. I drove aimlessly, every turn of the wheel a desperate attempt to make sense of what I had just learned. When I finally stopped, parked under the dim glow of a street lamp, I realized I had to face her, had to demand the truth from the person I loved most, even if it meant shattering whatever remained of our world. That evening, when I saw her walk in as if nothing had happened, her eyes avoiding mine, I understood something essential and terrifying: trust, once broken, leaves a scar that no amount of apologies can erase. The confrontation was quiet, tense, filled with the heavy weight of words left unsaid and confessions demanded by the sheer force of the moment. And in that silence, I felt the bitter truth settle over us both, a realization that sometimes, the people you love the most are capable of hiding entire worlds from you, and the pain of uncovering them is a journey you cannot turn back from. Did this story touch your heart? Tell me in the comments where you're watching from, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so more hearts can feel these stories too.